Yeah, well, I was away the weekend that it rained. I left here on the Thursday morning, and then it started drizzling, and it got heavier and heavier, and I was down at Aller I restore a few old tractors as a hobby, and I was down at Aller at an old heritage weekend. And then I heard it was raining up here, and I rang my brother on the Friday night afternoon and got a report, and again on Saturday morning got another report, and the floodwater's getting higher and higher, and so I decided on Sunday morning to head for home, and so I thought this low was sort of coming down the coast, so I thought I'd head inland and come around behind it, and I headed inland from Allera up through Toowoomba out to Miles, and up through Wandoan to Banana, and I stopped at Banana for the night, and I had to wait for the floodwater to recede a little bit there for a few hours, and then I headed around through Billawheeler and got to Calliope to Mum and Dad, and I stayed the night there because I knew I couldn't get up here, and all the communications were cut here. There was no, well, of course there's never any mobile phone coverage here, and the landlines are out, the power is out and everything, and all I wanted to do was get home to get some generators going to get my fridges going, because all my freezers would have been out of power, full of rotten meat by the time I got home. So that stopped at Mum and Dad's that night. Next morning I got going at 4 o'clock, borrowed a pair of boots off Dad and parked my car at Barmandoo there at what they call Futter Creek now, and I walked from there up to Milton Station, which is 20 kilometre walk. I got set off at 4, I got up to Milton about 9, and then the people at Milton gave me a cup of tea and they ran me home up to here. And I got home, I could see the extent of the damage then. It was, you know, the river's been right out of the flats and everything there. I couldn't get, actually, the reason I had to walk, I couldn't get across the dam. The dam was backed up over the Nellie Simpson area down there. It was still about 4 metres over the road then. And yeah, and of course I couldn't sort of tee up anybody up here to pick me up on the other side of it, because there's no communications, you know, and so the closest place was Milton, so I had to walk the 20 kilometres to Milton. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it pulled people together, yeah, because people had to sort of help one another, and there was people looking for cattle that they missed, they were losing, like they lost, and yeah, it pulled the community together more than pulled it apart. Yeah, I suppose, you know, in times like what we had, you know, people, it just comes like a big family. Yeah, we all sort of look after one another, you know. How are you going? You know, you need help out there and that sort of thing, and everybody sort of helps one another out, you know. Yeah, it's a bit like when you have a calamity in your family, like a death in your family, you know. All your friends are there, all your mates are there for you. Yeah, and that's a community here. We're all there for one another. Although we're all probably in the same boat, we're also helping one another in that. Yeah.